I'm Penny.
And I'm Elle, and you're listening to
the Enneagram and Popcorn Podcast.
You're listening to episode 3, Leap Year. Actually, our first movie.
Yes.
Listening to Enneagram and Popcorn. 9 types, 2 pals, bring snacks. Join Penny and Elle as they talk all things Enneagram and entertainment. And of course, what would binge watching be without snacks? And now your host, Penny and Elle.
It should be noted that we are by no means Enneagram experts. We're not here to type you, but we do love talking about it. If you're looking to find your Enneagram type, we recommend working with a professional and reading some of the great books in our resources section in the show notes.
Also, our opinions about these amazing characters are our own, and we want to hear your opinions too. Feel free to join the conversation by shooting us a line at pennyandelle@gmail.com.
So, like you said, this was our first movie.
It was fun to do.
And we watched it together.
Yes, which was our first time doing that.
I mean, not watching a movie together.
Right. But with
holidays.
intentions to type characters. It was our first.
It's true. I think it'd be funny to be a fly on the wall and like watching us exchange looks.
I know.
And type notes furiously into our various devices.
We totally did that. Something would happen in the movie and we would like look at each other like, is this giving you like feelers for this number?
And then you'd hear,
yeah, type.
That's pretty good. I liked it. I had never seen this movie before.
I hadn't seen it in a very long time. We chose this movie, Leap Year, because, well, it's a leap year.
Mm-hmm. Set in Ireland. It's March.
Yes. It was the perfect first movie, I would say, for us to do.
Yeah. You made a really good choice when you picked this movie.
Thank you.
Yeah. But it was so cute. I liked it. Amy Adams
she can do no wrong.
She's the quintessential Disney princess in real life.
Yes.
I mean, they can set all the Disney movies in real life if they want to, but Amy Adams, she's my princess.
I know. And the movie Enchanted that she's in isn't even like a real movie. Like, it's not even a real princess, which is so...
Giselle.
Yes, which she needs to be a princess. Like in a real Disney movie.
Yeah.
She would excel.
I mean,
so
she was amazing. All the songs and everything that she sang. But so she, in this film, Leap Year, does the Disney princess laugh. She goes, ha! It's many times.
It's perfect.
Okay, so what's the premise of this film?
Basically, Anna, the main character, Amy Adams, she just wants to be married, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she realizes why. She wants to be married because the image of what marriage is. Wouldn't you say?
I think
at the beginning.
I think, she says she and her boyfriend, who is a cardiologist, they've been together a long time.
Right.
And,
it's that logic next.
Yeah, we've been together 4 years and now it's time to get married.
Right.
And he's up for that apartment thing for the job. And
so basically she's like, I want to be married, and her dad tells her this old story about women proposing to men on leap day, on a leap year, and she's like, that's crazy. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to go do this. So she flies across the country and across the world, I guess, and
because her boyfriend is in Ireland in Dublin, right?
Yes, for a conference.
Yes.
A cardiology. So fancy.
Yeah, I was so thrilled when John Lithgow was her dad. I freaking love him. He's hilarious.
It's a very small part for him, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But he did it well.
Yeah, I think, we were a little nervous about doing a movie because they're so short and, typing and coming up with what is someone's Enneagram type based on such a short
based
window.
On less than 2 hours of time.
But, I mean, I don't know how writers, whether they're film or TV or even authors, really manage to communicate so much to an audience in such a short amount. Because I almost felt like I could give her dad a number.
I gave her dad a number.
And he was just there for 5 minutes at the bar.
Of the movie.
They do talk about him later.
Yeah,
too.
we should.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So she flies to Ireland. There is a big storm.
She basically gets rerouted to the middle of nowhere where she meets Declan.
Yeah. Who is played by Matthew Good.
And he's fine. He is.
Sorry, honey, if you're listening.
So great. I don't even. He's
shower scene.
Dark and mysterious and
broody.
Like, yeah, and just he's good stuff.
I mean, yeah, he is everything that Jeremy, the boyfriend, is not. Oh,
polar opposite.
Yeah, and Jeremy's played by Adam Scott, which if you watch The Good Place.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Good. I like him.
He's hilarious. And he's married to Leslie Knope in Parks and Rec.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that either. I've never seen that.
Yeah, but he's great. I love him. He's a really good actor.
He is.
We just love to hate him in this movie.
Right, it's real easy. Well, it's not even. We'll get to that.
Yeah, so
we'll get to that.
You know, things are gonna happen. She's supposed to propose. And when do things ever go to plan?
Never. Especially not in film.
No, wouldn't make a good movie.
Not at all.
It's all about their journey together
to get her to Dublin to propose
to Jeremy.
Yeah. Shall we?
I think we shall. So the film opens. We meet Anna, right?
Yes.
Which I just love the way that Declan says her name. Not American, but I am not Irish. She's, the downtown girl, right?
From Boston.
Set in Boston. She's the downtown girl. She is getting a dress fit. She's having drinks at the fancy bar with her friend.
Very professional,
fashionable,
like put together.
Yeah. She is not an interior designer, but basically she stages apartments. Yes. So I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Amy Adams playing like what seems like a snooty girl.
She did it well, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said this before, I don't think she can do anything not well.
Yeah, I agree.
She plays the very innocent persona very well, but she does this bossy, sassy, she did it well.
She did it really well. Yeah, she's such an amazing actress. And you see a dark side of her in Sunshine Cleaning too. That's a really dark film that she's in. She does it all.
She does it all.
She's amazing. Okay, so
what'd you put?
At first, I was thinking 3. Because even though she was a perfectionist, she tells some guy to take a few inches off her dress when he's not, what is it called? Taylor.
That's how it is. Taylor, I think. So.
I don't know. Some guy that's making her a dress. But at first I thought she was a 3 because it's a lot about how everything looks, I was thinking.
Right.
Even with the boyfriend, of this is just how it is. And he is talking about this apartment that he's up for with his job. And it's the apartment with the pool, and it's overlooking the common, and it just seemed very it's about the prestige. Yeah, image driven.
Yeah.
So that was my first thought. But really, I cheated because I kept thinking about what you would think her number was.
I think she's a 1.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell us more about that.
I think she's a 1 because of this is how it has to be, because these are the rules. Her ethic, have to do it the right way. That's what I kept going back to.
Yeah. She she's sitting at the bar with her friend and talking about whatever jewelry store that the guy's gonna go to, and she's practicing her reaction to the proposals.
Yes.
It's pretty perfectionistic, because of how it should look. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 1 more because she's she has a desire to live the right way. At the end of the movie, she says, "I have everything that I could ever want, but nothing that I really need."
Yeah.
So up until this point in her life, she just has what she wants because
Because she wants it.
Because she wants it.
Yeah.
Never had, like, more of a meaning past that.
She's very controlling.
Yeah.
But I thought it was all image-driven. And then we kind of get to the moment I started to change my mind a little bit, even though I, like, have all these quotes typed out, but she says, you know, I don't like surprises, which made me think 6 at first, because, you know, 6s don't like surprises.
Yeah.
But then she even sits and, like, researches this tradition that her dad tells her about. Right. And then I'm like, oh, 5? That's weird. No. But why is she researching it? And then at that point, I was still thinking 3 because she wanted it to look the way it was supposed to look. But it was like,
because it's the right way to do it. She doesn't want to do it wrong.
Yeah. She says later, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be precise.
And that, I would say that is like her to a T.
Well, that's like a 1 to a T. You know, it has like that morality way, right. And then also the precision thing. Yeah. But once they are in the inn, and
with the other two couples,
and the woman who runs the inn isn't going to let them stay there unless they're married.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing, when they're in the garden, so Declan is going to cook a meal for everyone, and they're in the garden putting together all of the ingredients. And this is where I finally decided that she was a 1, which is kind of silly because early in the movie, I wrote anger triad, which pretty much is like 8, 9, 1, would leave out 3. She has carrots. She's pulling carrots because the recipe says she needs 3 medium-sized carrots. And she has a large carrot and 2 medium carrots, and she looks severely troubled.
Right, like, what do I do with this?
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, this is a 1 problem, like wanting to follow the rules. And once Declan comes over and fixes it, she explains why she is so controlling. And that was like,
ooh. And that fits the anger triad even more, I would say. Like, that feeds the anger part of the triad.
Yeah.
Of her being a 1, I would say.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She talks about her dad was just constantly going for whatever the shiniest thing was, and she kind of had to take control so her family didn't lose everything that they had.
Right. Like working 2 jobs and...
Yeah, and she said their house.
They lost their house on Christmas Eve.
Little plug here for our book club.
Yeah.
So we're reading The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stabile. And one of the things that they talk about is they talk about healing messages that each number kind of needs to hear as a child. So I just wanted to look and see what the 1 message was before well, I'm wrong. It is not the healing message, but they talk about the wounding messages that we receive that kind of helps us determine our number. So it says that the wounding message that baby 1s pick up is that they need to be good and to do things right, and mistakes are not acceptable. So that would make sense. She watched her dad make all of these mistakes, right, and she's left to be good and pick up the pieces.
Yes,
I guess
I would say definitely.
Yeah, I think it should also be noted that we kind of get to see her angry 1 side turn. Like, she has some fun, funky moment, which the stereotypical 1, like, we don't think about you guys like that sometimes, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got to see that in her character.
And that might be the good thing of movies, too, is they develop the characters faster.
Yeah, maybe so. I love, like, she starts singing this goofy song, like,
in the shower.
About, I have a bruise there. I have a bruise there.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and she's so competitive. I just wrote competitive with an exclamation point. It might have come along with, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be precise.
What do you think her wing is?
2? I think probably 2, like at the wing.
Yeah, because he's like sad, and she literally says, like, I'm not trying to bother you, I'm just trying to help.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, like, receive help very well.
He is very broody, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So ones, I know they share a line with 4 because I'm a 4.
Right.
Oh, 7? One's good.
I mean, she did have, at the end of the thing, she's like, let's screw all the plans, and proposes to him and says, I don't want to make plans with you.
Yeah.
Let's just not make any plans.
I propose to not make plans.
Yeah, and just live our lives.
Yeah, for sure. So I nerdily had to lean on that 5 wing when I was struggling between the 1 and the 3. And so apparently 1s and 3s will mistype as each other frequently. Well, so the Enneagram Institute says that while both 1s and 3s put their feelings aside for efficiency, average 3s will mask whatever's actually bothering them. But 1s are more likely to show some emotion. And like when it starts raining on her, eventually she starts crying and all of that. So that really helped me too. It says, 1s are far less able to conceal their disappointments, which maybe that's because they share a line with 4. I don't know.
That would make sense.
I don't know. Well, yeah. So I'm feeling good about the fact that 1 wing 2. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, she's not afraid of conflict.
No,
at all.
But neither is he. Let's get into him.
Oh, yes, please. I'm ready.
Okay.
I want to know. You go first.
I had 3 numbers at one point.
Oh, really?
I
only had 1 the whole
3
time.
combinations of numbers. So originally I thought he was a 9 wing 8.
Okay.
Then I thought he was an 8 wing 9.
Okay.
For a second, don't really agree with this anymore. I thought he was a 5 wing 4.
Okay.
I think I'm landing on 8 wing 9.
Okay. Tell me more.
He's so brutally honest.
I wrote rude in all caps.
But he's like, you're stupid. He tells her that like 3 times. And endearing and like flirty, but I think that just is the movie. But I would say 8 wing 9. Like he's pretty laid back and go with the flow, but then also not afraid to speak his mind at all.
Yeah.
What did you put?
So her number was really obvious to me, like one of those 2 right away.
Right.
But the whole thing with him, I think, is that his character was supposed to be mysterious, and you were supposed to constantly be going like, what is he? Who is he anyway? So at first I just had this long list of things that he says or about him. So first I wrote jokester. He's got this old classic car, but it's a piece of junk and doesn't work. So I just wrote, it's a classic Renault 4. Rude, laughs a lot. And then things start to turn a little bit in the movie. He goes from being like this broody, I keep using that word, but
it is
like, mysterious person.
If you haven't seen it, just look at him. Just Google the picture of him. He's like, he's the definition of broody.
Yeah, he's just like
so serious.
He's very serious and mysterious. He starts to become more sentimental. So he walks in, she's looking at this picture, and he's like, that's private, and is so dramatic about grabbing it from her. And then he starts to laugh a lot, and he likes to have a good time. So then I'm thinking like, oh, maybe he's a 7, but there's like too many feelings for 7. And then he starts calling her all these weird, cute little mean nicknames, and he's really cynical. And he starts a fight at the bar because some people like stole her bag.
Yeah.
And then he just becomes like this really tortured soul. It almost looks like you're kind of, what happened to him? And there's the wedding, and it shows he doesn't really trust people. And once I figured out he didn't trust people, I wanted to think he was a 6 because that's what you do. That's what I do. So then we get to this castle, right? We're at this castle. She's waiting on the bus to come. And he's like, oh, you have to, like, I'm going to explore this. It's one of the 7 wonders of blah, 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 Ireland. Yeah. And he tells this deep romantic story as he's leading her through the castle. And she's like, you're hitting on me. And it becomes, like, silly. But then I notice he's becoming, like, this storyteller. He's, like, constantly spinning stories of all the old tales. And then when they get to the bed and breakfast, he has, like, invented this couple that they were really quickly, like, he's been dwelling on what the future or the past was and could be. And as a future past future dweller, I began to see he was doing a lot of push and pulling. And then he said, when we get to this wedding where he's super, like, sad and, I realize he's very envious, and he talks about his mother's Claddagh ring as the one thing he would grab. And then I decide he's a 4. But I think he's the same 4. He's like the grumpy 4 that looks like an 8 or a 1, like the angry 4, the angriest of the 4s. But I could totally see the 8 thing. These are my thoughts. It should be noted that Elle and I whip out our books like they're weapons that we're going to use to fence
each other
to decide what number is actually
I agree correct. Or not. Hold on. So what about a 5-wing 4? So he's detached and private. This says they are motivated by a need to gain knowledge. In the sense of the movie, he just watches her and learns. Like, he just picks up things and learns from her. I get the whole castle scene is when I wrote 4 ... And then towards the end of the movie, that's when I put 5-wing 4. He's just very, like, he's not very romantic.
But he is in that 4 way of, I don't want to be a traditional romantic. I want to be a different kind of romantic. I want to be mean to you to flirt with you. And
I'm trying not to roll my eyes right now. Yes.
Also, it should be noted that when Elle is trying to defend her points, she holds a book up in her face. Like, I'm going to cheat off her face. But, he's a chef. That's, like, kind of,
I always feel the need to defend people when you type them as 4s, because the people that you choose as 4s, if I said he was a 4, I feel like you would say he's not a 4.
Because I'm a 4?
Because you're a 4.
No, I wouldn't have agreed that he's a 4. I just also don't usually get along with 8s, but it's, like, the thing about her saying, I don't want to make plans with you, like, to me, 8s are bossy plan makers, and he felt very go with the flow to me.
Which is why I said 9.
Yeah, but he wasn't afraid of conflict to just, like, go and beat somebody up in the bar, whereas 9's, like, core fear is conflict.
That's true.
But
I think we should
I like the 5 situation. I could be digging the 5 situation. But I agree. Let's put it out into the world and see what comes back to us. Okay. Yes. Introduce our snack, Elle.
So this week's snack is Lucky Charms popcorn. It's so good. It's so good. It's like Rice Krispies, but instead of Rice Krispies, it's popcorn. So good.
She took Lucky Charms marshmallows and melted them, which turned her popcorn green.
Which is fitting, I would say.
Totally.
Unplanned.
There are more Lucky Charms marshmallows that are not melted.
And green sprinkles. Because we thought it wasn't going to be green, but you know what? It's green. So you can omit the green sprinkles if you want, or if you don't want.
They're so good.
We will put the link for that recipe in our show notes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was even more fitting.
Oh.
Yeah, because at the beginning where Declan and Anna are, like, really bickering, she says, "What are you, the Lucky Charms leprechaun?"
Right. As we're, like, eating our popcorn.
It's fine. It was just the perfect snack for today.
So the last-ish character. The last, like...
There's only, like, the two main characters, really. And then there's so many fun...
blips of characters. That
like John Lithgow.
Right.
And then there's these two guys that always talk about, it's unlucky to do certain things on certain days. That's pretty cute. Too. And there's, like, the priest. And then there's, like, the bride at the wedding.
But you just get, like, snippets of
it. But they don't feel small. Like, no. I feel like even the bride, who must have had 5 lines, I'm like, oh, I feel like I know her or something.
It's the movie. I just know her.
I know. Like, I want to know your soul. We're going to type Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Love him.
I put 3.
I put 3 as well.
But I put 3-wing too. He does care about her.
No, I don't feel like he's a bad guy. He just was not the one for her,
Right.
I think he is excited about his job. They're at dinner and he pulls out a picture on his phone of a heart.
A heart? She's like, not at dinner, honey.
Nope. Elle screams out, not ever.
Because that's gross.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't seem like a villain in this thing at all.
No. And
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, throughout the whole movie, Declan keeps asking Anna, if you were in a fire and you had 60 seconds to grab something, what would you grab? So that's kind of like the whole theme of the movie, for that aspect. And like,
which is such a poor question, I must say.
You're right. At the end, Anna's realizing, like, I'm with Jeremy and I don't really want to be. I'm going to pull this fire alarm and see what he grabs. And he starts grabbing, like, phone, computer, video camera, money, like, superficial things. And that's when she's like, oh.
He even says, I haven't had a chance to put the engagement on Facebook yet. Yeah.
Which is such an extreme 3.
Like how it looks. I mean.
But I would say for a movie to get a character's personality across, that is a very fast way to.
Yeah, what's valuable? I mean, that was the whole point of that question, which I think is really summed up in the fact that Declan's first nickname for Anna is Bob, which is Irish money, right? Like valuable.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put that together.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was really neat. But I think they did a good job with Jeremy. He's not, like, you don't hate him ever. No. He's like on one knee proposing to her, and I feel bad for him actually, because it's very clear she's pining after Declan.
It's just you don't hate him, but it's very obvious that you don't need to like him.
Right.
That you don't need to.
The one.
Right.
Yeah. But, I mean, during the engagement, he is talking about all the cameras pointed at them. He's very image conscious. And he actually says out loud what I was thinking about Anna in the beginning, like, she just wants to get engaged to him because that's the next step and that's like what it should be, and why not? And then later you find out that the whole reason he even proposed to her is because he thought that's what was expected of him in this new job and in their apartment building. Right. They just did such a great job of bringing the whole film full circle, I think.
They totally did.
Yeah.
What did you type for Dad?
Like a 7.
That's what I put too.
But,
I mean, you can't really get too into it because.
But he's like, yeah.
He was like everywhere. Late for dinner, and
he like randomly connects with this stranger at the bar as like his best friend.
Yeah.
He's living his life in a good way.
Definitely.
Yeah. Shiny pennies, like going after things. So. Yeah, I loved the movie.
Yeah, it was
the snack was good too. And I loved just sitting and watching it together and chomping on our Lucky Charms popcorn, and it was fun.
Yeah, we can't do that with shows because I don't think we could sit for more than 2 hours without discussing a character. You know what I mean? Like, if we were going to sit there and discuss, like, Grace and Frankie, or if we were going to sit there and watch Grace and Frankie, we would be talking the whole time, and then this show wouldn't be a show because we would just talk about it together. Not a show.
But it's cool because we also recorded it like within 3 minutes of turning the movie off.
Yes.
So
It's all fresh.
I really like doing it this way.
I do too. I think that's it.
Yeah, I do too. Next show is going to be about
One Tree Hill.
Yes. Hanging out at Tree Hill High. Appropriate.
That's a big one.
Spring break.
For next week's question, let's go with who do you relate to on One Tree Hill?
Oh, I like that.
There's so many
There's
to choose
so many
from.
good characters.
Totally.
Peyton and
Brooke
and Haley.
Haley, Lucas,
Yeah.
Nathan, Mal.
I love that. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I think that's all.
I think that's all. If you're still wanting to learn about your type, the book club's open.
Would love to have you.
Yeah.
Well, we will
Talk to you later.
see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.